I want to thank Mattinata for sending me this espresso latte and cappuccino machine so that I could demonstrate it and show it to you. They did not influence my review in any way whatsoever. All the opinions are mine. So thanks again to Mattinata. Hey, it's Michael, and today I'm going to be demonstrating, showing you the Mattinata espresso latte and cappuccino maker that I got. It's right behind me here. Actually, I'm enjoying a doppio, a double espresso right now as we speak. And it makes me so happy that I am saving so much money by making these drinks at home rather than going to the local expensive coffee shop. I did some calculations. This is just, these are just sort of generalized numbers I'm going to be giving you, but just give you an idea of how much money you can save by making your specialty drinks at home. Now, if you buy a bag of espresso roast whole beans, it's going to be about 14 bucks. Might be a little bit more, depends where you get them. 14 bucks, that's going to be 453 grams of coffee, 1 pound. Now, a shot, to make a single shot of espresso, that requires roughly 9 grams of beans. That means the beans to make a single shot is going to cost you 27 cents. And you're going to get about 50 single shots out of a pound of coffee. All right. Now, if you go to your local coffee shop and order a doppio, which is a double shot, that's probably going to cost you around 3 bucks. 3 bucks. And it's going to cost you 27 cents at home. Well, let's say you like lattes, all right? So a gallon of 2% milk, roughly, is going to cost you about $3.34. Currently, that's what I pay. That's 128 ounces of milk. 128 ounces of milk boils down to about 2.5 cents an ounce, roughly 2.6 cents an ounce. A latte uses about 8 ounces of milk, and a small latte, a tall latte, I guess, would be a 1 shot of coffee. So that is going to be 21 cents for your milk and 27 cents for your shot of espresso at home. If you go to your local coffee shop, it's probably going to cost you around 5 bucks for your latte. So that means you're going to save $4.57 every time you make a latte at home. Enough said. Are you ready to go out and buy this Mattinata machine? I think so. So let me show you what you're going to get when you take it out of the box. All right, once you unpack your Mattinata espresso latte and cappuccino machine, this is everything you're going to get. You get a portafilter. It does have a bit of plastic in the bottom of it, but you're going to be inserting these baskets in there. You've got a single basket, a double basket, and then you have an ESE pod basket. Then you get the scoop and tamper. Then this is the base for the milk reservoir. And the base has to be inserted into the machine, and I'll do that in just a second. Here's your drip tray with a stainless steel top. The drip tray just pulls right out like this. It does have a little float in there, so when that little red thing sticks through the slot, you'll know that you've got to empty this, but I just do it automatically. So the float is really not that big of a deal, but it's there. And then there is an additional little tray underneath here, and that's kind of cool because if you want to make a couple of shots or just a larger drink, it just allows you to put a larger cup down here rather than just a small espresso cup. Then on the back of the machine, there's a couple things we have to do before we start doing anything with the machine to make espresso. First of all, you just remove the water reservoir, and it just pulls straight out. Very first thing you want to make sure you do is remove this red plug. I cannot tell you how many people complain that the machine doesn't work. Well, it's because they didn't take off the red plug and no water can get into the machine. So just pull that off, and that will solve that particular problem. This lid lifts off like this. There's actually a little place to grab it so you can pull it off. And what we're going to do right now is fill this with water, and we're also going to fill the milk reservoir with water because we have to go through an initial cleaning process. Very simple. It only takes a minute to do, so let's do that right now. Before we start the whole cleaning process, I just want to point out one or two things here. I do like the fact that there are little suction cups where the feet are, and that just helps prevent this from sliding around on your counter. Also, you'll notice this little cutaway part here. Well, that is where the milk tray bottom goes, and it just slides in just like this. So that's that, and we'll spin this back around. I have filled both these items with water. Now this has a little, this comes off the top, and then there's also a knob here which turns the frothing spout into your cup when you're ready to make your milk, your steamed milk. And then this goes into the machine on the side here, and there's a little lever right next to it. That'll lock it into place once you get it in there. But for now, leave it in the unlocked position. Just place this on the tray, tip the thing so you can get it in there, push it in, and then lock it into place. And then we'll just place the water reservoir on the back of the machine, and I'll just do it like that. So now I'm going to plug it in. You're going to hear some beeps. Put the drip trays back in place here. I'm going to get a cup. I'm going to flip out the wand here, and I'm going to turn the machine on. Now, these lights are flashing right now. When you first turn the machine on, they're going to flash until the internal temperature gets to where it needs to be. That'll take your very first time, maybe about 40 seconds, something like that. All right, it stopped blinking, so now we're going to push the latte button for 3 seconds. And that's going to start running water through the whole system here, and that's just going to clean everything out. Any manufacturing residue, whatever, it'll just get all flushed out. And then we'll just stop it. And then we'll just discard this water. And that's it. We're ready to start making espresso. All right, I've filled up my water reservoir all the way. I've emptied the water out of my milk tank here and filled it with almond milk. Whole milk is probably going to give you the best result, followed by 2% and then skim milk. But you can use almond milk. It just doesn't necessarily give you the best result. And I actually prefer milk. But I wanted to show you that you can use almond milk, so that's what I've got in here right now. So let's make our first shot of espresso. Now you've got the single basket, the double basket, and we're not worrying about the ESE pods because I don't use those. So I'm going to put the double basket in the portafilter just like that. Now if you want to get this out to make a single shot, I just use the edge of the single shot. Just put it in the slot there and you can just rotate it and it'll pull right out. But I rarely use the single shot. So we're going to use a double shot, and the double shot is going to require roughly 15 grams of coffee. So I have ground this to an espresso grind. 15 grams is going to be just a little more than 2 scoops. So I'll put in my first scoop, put in my second scoop, and then I usually just tap it to see if we have room for a little bit more. Yep, it looks like we can use a little bit more. So just about 2.5 scoops. And once I tap it, in order to get it more even before I tamp it, so now that I've got it kind of even, I'm just going to use my tamper and apply a firm pressure. We don't want to overfill this, and we want it to be level, not tilted. So just sort of tamp it down there as best you can. If you have too much coffee in here, it's going to rub against the screen, which is in the brew head, and we don't want that. Put the portafilter into the machine, make sure it's level as you insert it, and then just the handle will be sticking straight out when it's in the proper position. Get your espresso cup, put it underneath, and we want a double shot of espresso, so we're going to push the espresso button twice. If you want a single shot, you would just press it once, so we'll push it twice. And the extraction should take about 30 seconds. If it takes much less than that, if it only took 15 or 20 seconds, that probably means your grind wasn't fine enough or you didn't tamp it firm enough. If it takes much longer than 30 seconds, it means you probably have too fine of a coffee grind and you may have tamped it too hard. So we're shooting for about 30 seconds for the ideal. Now there is your shot of espresso. So you can see we have a nice amount of crema in there. And let me taste. That is very tasty. So that's how you make an espresso. Now let me make you a cappuccino. To make a cappuccino, first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the coffee out of here. Now, usually you want to use a knock box. Now you don't have to use a knock box, it just makes life a lot easier. That's just basically gives you a place to tap this out. So we tap it out, and then I'm going to rinse this out quickly. And then you want to just dry it. Have a rag handy. So we'll put another round of coffee in here. Tamp it down, insert it, and for a cappuccino, I'm going to use a larger cup. We're going to tilt this into the cup, and I'm going to push the cappuccino button twice because we want a double shot in there. So a cappuccino uses less steamed milk and a little bit more froth, whereas a latte uses more steamed milk and a little less froth. You notice the machine started to make noise, then stopped, and then started again. That's the pre-infusion, and that's really important because that gets the grounds damp first and lets it bloom a little bit, and then the actual extraction takes place. And that whole process should take about 30 seconds. Oh man, that looks so good. So there is our wonderful cappuccino. Once you've made your milk-based drink, you do need to clean this with water, and the way you do that is you put another cup under the tube, and then you're going to press and hold the latte button for 3 seconds. This is very similar to the initial setup. What it's going to do is flush hot water through there. It'll clean all the tubing, and you'll know that it was successful because eventually there will be clear water coming out of the tube rather than milk or milky looking water. So it runs some steam through there, and then it'll start running the hot water. Now we can start counting from 10. And the water is running clean. Just push the button to stop the process, and you're done. So then we've got to dump our coffee out of the portafilter again. And then once you've cleaned that, this is a good idea to also wipe out the brew head and just get any loose coffee grounds that might be in there. And that's it. The Mattinatta Espresso Latte and Cappuccino machine makes it really easy to make delicious lattes and cappuccinos and just plain espresso. Not having to use a steam wand just makes the whole process so much easier. And this does make a really nice foam, and it does steam the milk very well. So it's super easy. You're going to save a ton of money. You're going to pay for this machine in cost savings if you make your cappuccinos at home rather than go to the coffee shop downtown. Within 2 months, you'll probably break even, depending, or less. You know, if you have a couple a day, it adds up fast, believe me. It's a really nice machine. It's very attractive. It's well made, stainless steel body for the most part. And that's about all I can tell you right now. Hope you enjoyed this, and thanks a lot for watching.